Well, hello there, Retro PC Durham. It's Chris here with another machine. We've got another oldie but a goodie. So this Dell Dimension 2350 desktop or tower machine, an aged wonder. So this machine I picked up again from a donation. A gentleman had some older parts, accessories, and this old PC, and said, "Hey, you want to pick this up too? Give it a shot." And so I took it home with me, and we've worked on it a little bit to get it cleaned up a little bit and try to get it up and running. Again, is a challenge with some of these machines when they're of a certain age. They're not able to run Windows 10. This being one of those cases. So this has been sitting around in my office for quite some time actually, and I thought, you know what? Let's just do the video on it, and then maybe we'll put it out there and see if anybody's looking for an older Windows XP era machine to play around on and try it out. So that's what this box is going to be doing. So front end of the machine here, we've got our, I replaced the DVD-ROM drive that was in this with a DVD multi-burner. Give it a little bit of extra functionality, obviously. Floppy disk drive, and then we've got, on the bottom here, audio output and a pair of USB ports. So we'll switch around to the back, and this is an older Dimension design, so it doesn't have that like airflow baffle thing in the front end in it. It's more of a standard chunky design. So power supply, system fan, keyboard, mouse, standard complement of ports here, USB ports, and your Ethernet. And then it still does have a toolless design to open it. The other Dell Dimensions that you usually see, have that front end with the airflow and then the buttons on the top. This one's just on the back here. You just push it, and then this piece slides off. And you're ready to go and take a look at the inside guts, which are pretty threadbare on this system. So nice big baffle there to cool your CPU down, as you can see there. So we cleaned that up and repasted on all that stuff for this guy. Only 2 memory DIMM slots for memory. We've got our optical drive and our floppy drive, and then the hard disk drive is mounted up on the wall here. No toolless design on some of this stuff here, so you did have to screw in all these components into the system. So kind of maybe before the period where Dell was looking to get into toolless capability on their systems to make them a little bit more user-friendly. And then the other thing you notice here from an expansion perspective, no AGP slot. So we can't add any better graphics than what's on board unless I had a high-end PCI video card, which I don't. I only have one PCI video card right now, which is 4 meg, or no, less than that. It's a 1 meg video card. It's very, very old, very basic video card. So not really something that would be appropriate for being able to run any level of better graphics than what the system has on board. So again, kind of back level in terms of functionality. If I remember correctly, installing on this system, I'm not even sure if I was even able to get Windows 7 to run on this system, or if I did, there were loads of graphics issues. So we kind of had to let that go. But it runs Windows XP pretty decently. So what we'll do now is we will get this thing plugged in and up and running, and we'll take a look at how she handles Windows XP. All right, I think we are lined up here. Yes, let's hit the power button and see what happens. So far, so good. BIOS revision A02. If I remember correctly, I was not able to find any BIOS revisions on the Dell website for this one. So either they never had any problems, or the system didn't last long enough in a production cycle for them to ever bother with doing anything like that. Which, I remember was often the case with Dell during this time, even with their business machines, that they moved very quickly through cycling their product as they got a lump group of parts. They would put out a product, and then when the 10,000 machines that they bought for were sold out, it was time for the next model. All right, so Windows is up and running here. Maybe what we'll do is we'll plug in, can plug in a speaker here, I think, and give a little bit of audio. We might have missed the Windows sound. And we'll just wait for my keyboard and mouse to finish loading up here. I must have plugged it in to a different port than I had originally plugged it into. So we'll have to wait a minute for that to... whoa! I guess the audio works. All right. Still waiting for this to go. So a couple other things that popped up. Again, I didn't boot this machine up before I started recording just to make sure everything was still working from the last time I had it up on the bench. So you'll see here that there's a couple alerts coming up here. And that is because the Okay, let's turn down the volume. Let's turn down the volume on this on the audio here, because we're going to get some loud noises otherwise. I think that should probably be better. That should probably be better. And I think the system is thinking very heavily right now. You'll find out why in a minute, why it's thinking heavily, I guess. All right, so there we go. Okay. Let's right-click on the Avast Antivirus. Oh, it's Windows is still having trouble with my keyboard and mouse combo here. I don't know why it's continuing to give me alerts. Okay, I know you found a new device. You installed it already. That's why I'm able to use it. Let's get the antivirus running here. Maybe not. All right, so we probably have to give it a minute here for the system to think. Finish thinking. About what it's doing. In the meantime, maybe we can run some apps here. We'll get some apps up and running here and show off capability of this machine. When I got this from the person who had donated, they still had like all their personal data loaded on this machine, which I always wipe drives. Like I deban them to make sure that there's nothing left on them. It takes a lot of time, but you know it's worth it to ensure that things are safe for the previous owner. But I gotta recommend, you know, if you've got an older PC, if you're not using it anymore, even if it's just sitting in the corner, plug it in and boot it up, and delete everything off of it. Delete all your personal data off of it. Even if it's not like secure erase or something, the fact that you don't have anything on there is enough that someone might just be like, oh, okay, well, there's no personal data on this, I can just wipe it and don't worry about it. But if you leave something on there, you never know if somebody's gonna take a look at it and find stuff that's inappropriate from you or of you and maybe try to use it against you. I can honestly tell you that some of the machines I've picked up, there's material on there that are sensitive in nature. And I definitely, if I had that stuff of me, I wouldn't want it out there for someone to be able to see. So, those people don't know, but, they can unknowingly thank me for permanently erasing that information off of those systems. All right, so we're going to update our virus definitions here on Avast. One of the things I'm doing my research on this one is important to know that you don't try to update the program, right? There's the updating the virus definitions, and then there's updating the program. And if you try to update the program, it'll wreck. It'll fail. It'll damage. Like the system won't work properly because this version works on Windows XP, but newer versions don't, and it'll crash trying to install it because I think it uninstalls this version before it installs the next one, and then it errors out. So now you have no antivirus. So I don't bother doing that. Again, this is just a very basic level of protection for this system. You wouldn't, if you're going to use something like this regularly, you would want to have some additional security software installed. And even then, never use any of your credentials on a system like this. Like, I mean, if you were going to make a custom, you know, accounts that were specifically for running on this system that you never log into on any other system ever under any circumstances, that at least protects if you did get some kind of attack or malware or data breach, that any information that was pulled from the system or pulled from those credentials, you'd never access them from any other machine, which means they would never give them the opportunity to identify you or be able to use your credentials to penetrate another machine that you own. Anyway, so this will probably take a minute to update. So we'll just click OK and let that go for now. And we will run hardware info on this machine and take a look at some of the system devices. I'll give you a couple hints there. We've got some Intel Extreme graphics on the taskbar. Ooh. And then the rest of these are just the alerts that are coming on here. And Windows XP may, of course, try to download some updates on the system. You never know with these old Windows XP updates. Sometimes they just don't take at all. Sometimes they do take. All right, so again, looking at this machine, we've got this Northwood Intel Pentium 4. This is a single-core, non-hyper-threaded processor. So number one, you know, with these Socket 478 systems, finding a machine that's capable of running Windows 10 on these is incredibly rare. And then when you're looking at something that's a single-core, single-threaded, you really would be in a lot of trouble trying to run you know, a modern OS just from a performance perspective. It's already going to run pretty slow on this system, right? 2.2 gigahertz, single core. You're probably not going to be able to use a system like this for any level of like XP gaming. You would definitely be looking at having to run some older type games on this if you wanted to make them work at all. And even then, you're going to run into some of the challenges of Windows XP being able to properly run older DOS-based games. So this machine was probably not useful for anything other than just, you know, mucking around, so to speak. Memory-wise, I only have 1 gig of memory installed on here. There's a pair of 512 megabyte DIMMs in here, so that's a good amount of memory for Windows XP. I think this could take a maximum of 2 gig in terms of what the system can, the BIOS can support, so it's not a heck of a lot of upgradability. And then we've got this Intel i845G integrated graphics, so it is using some system memory to be able to operate. I think it's using 64 megabytes from the BIOS was the maximum. So again, not a lot of memory performance that's going to be on this one. And then just a simple 30 gig hard disk drive. It's not the original hard disk drive that was installed on this system. I did pull a different drive off. The one that was on here did have some smart errors in terms of reallocated sector counts. So it is in the bin, screw-drived and in the bin to go away. I don't bother with those drives that have those smart errors anymore, and I certainly wouldn't put a system out for donation that had an error like that. So again, this one's pretty light, right? Only 5,600 hours worth of cycle on this hard drive, so pretty light use. Should run for a while in terms of capability. So that's it for this box. I'm not going to bother. So on this one, I did install a couple of apps. So we installed 7-Zip. I installed Avast, as I mentioned. I installed VLC. So if you wanted to play like a DVD movie or something on this system, it should be able to handle it fine. And I did install Firefox. I'm not going to bother doing the YouTube test on this system because well, you know, we can do it, but it's going to suck really bad. The performance of this system for any modern graphics, web graphics is just absolutely terrible. let alone the fact of just even running Firefox chews up a lot of performance. So we'll take a look here for science. We'll show the level of performance that you actually get off of a machine of this age and capability. And it's definitely having its challenges loading up all the frames here. So we will type the crab rave. And thank you to Monster Cat for making this available for people to use, myself included, without the copyright claims. Are always very irritating when I'm just trying to put something out to catalog these machines as they come across the workbench. So we will click on the link, and we'll probably get an ad or two, and then we'll see if this will even run at 160p, because I'm telling you, don't expect much here, folks. Don't expect anything. Yeah, we're going to get an ad. Grammarly? Yes. I guessed right. What do I win? Do I win the skip button to go automatically?
Writing's not that easy.
Oh, it isn't?
Grammarly can help.
Thanks, Grammarly.
This sentence
Oh,
is grammatically correct.
even the audio is terrible.
And hard to read. It undermines the writer's message, and the word choice is bland.
Oh man, that's bad.
Grammarly's cutting-edge technology.
That's bad. Okay, here we go. So we are in. The performance is so terrible. Like it's even. See if I can I pause it? Okay. I want to bring up the settings window here. So we're at 144p. We're at 144p, and we're gonna try and watch the crab rave here. I'm gonna go out to theater mode, and oh, it's gonna be so bad. Now you're not blurry. That is not out of focus. That is just because the 144 pixels stretched across the screen here is having a day. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. So it looks like it's not frame skipping, and the audio isn't going too bad. Oh, it is. It is. Listen to that. Oh, it's skipping. It's skipping at 144p. So, I mean, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to performance on this system for doing anything like this. Highly not recommended. But if you were looking for a basic system to do some desktop publishing, some word processing work, you weren't planning on connecting to the internet at all, or if you were just doing text-based work, this can probably handle things. Again, this is a project PC, a mecking around PC, nostalgia PC. Definitely not something that would be used for any type of real modern usage at all. So I'm sure someone's going to be interested in it. I hope someone's going to be interested in it because I want to get it out of my office and let it go. So we will turn off the system now, and you can listen to the Microsoft sound. And that'll be the goodbye as it tries to possibly load some updates. So again, I hope you enjoyed this one. Love to hear your feedback. Please put it in the comments below. I hope you're staying safe and healthy out here in these strange and challenging times we're all experiencing. And I will catch you in the next one.